Hello, everybody. We may be full of turkey and stuffing, but your broskies in basketball are back to make sure your wallet keeps eating. Recording live from somewhere, this is One and Done.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
It's time once again for everybody to come aboard that Green Screens Media train. Welcome to One and Done, powered by drroto.com, and it feels so good to be back. I am your humble host, the conductor of the aforementioned Green Screens Media train. My name is Jay Heinrich. Follow me on Twitter at Dr. William Cannon. Let's get right to my broski in basketball. Rolling two in the box tonight here with El Capitan himself, the captain of the Green Screens Media ship, the OG Money Mike. Follow him on X at MC Holland34. That is Mr. Mike Holland. What it do, baby?
I am so glad we are back. Did I do it right? Man, I've been waiting for tonight. I mean, family and friends and Texas football winning and, all those things. It's great. But, and then, man, I think I watched 17 full college basketball games this week since I had the 9 days off, which is pretty nice. So, enjoyed it, man. Did pretty well on the old DFS streets. A little bit of an up and down roller coaster on Prize Picks, but I'm excited. And it looks like we got some commenters already in the house with Kaylin saying, "Yeah,
What's up, Kaylin?"
He dropped that early. Maybe he said not awake anymore. Mama Rocks is back. What it do? What it do? And with the salute, absolutely. And then, Corey McDaniel, man, One and Done show. Hey, Corey, man, I saw your name up at the top of the, I think it was the 5K zone or the 1K zone, man. I think you pulled off first or second, man. Let us know in the comments what you won there, man. So another great night for one of our followers. And I was hanging out in first for a few minutes today, but our guy who just popped in, C. Thuggin, was in first, and unfortunately was rooting for him. There he is. He passed me, but then got run down by by some of the chalk on the San Francisco side with Marcus Williams and Sheriff Jomp's your favorite name to say, Jay. But yeah, man, I'm excited. Welcome everybody. Appreciate you guys joining us. And yeah, we're gonna give you guys some news and notes. We'll get to the DFS stuff, man. We'll give you maybe a little bit of a breakdown of core, and then Jay's got some bets for you guys as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, everybody, for checking in those comments. We appreciate y'all doing that. Make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Ooh. Tell the broskies and broskettes in your life about us here on One and Done for all your college basketball information. Like Mike said, we're going to give you some top stories, give you some key players that really shined this week. A little DFS at the end there, and then some bets. So let's get into some top stories here tonight, Mike. A loaded Maui Invitational this time around, and Purdue getting the win. Didn't fall short this time around in a tournament. Mike, give us your thoughts on the Maui Invitational field and how you're feeling now about the Boilermakers after coming out on top in Hawaii.
This would happen, right? This would happen. I come on previews and say how Michigan State is the the class of the Big Ten and rank them ahead of the Boilermakers in the preseason, and this happens to start the year. But you know what? It's not March yet, so still got a chance here. But yeah, the Maui Invitational was fun, man. Like 5 of the top 11 teams in the AP Top 25 were playing. I think I watched about half of the games and caught a little bit of some of the other ones. Like I think, it's kind of starting off before I get to Purdue, like with Kansas, since we're here in Big 12 country, they got a little exposed, Jay. We've talked about it a little bit. Like Marquette ran them ragged. I don't know where the shooting is for Kansas. You got DeJuan Harris out there and KJ Adams, who they're just not shooters. And it's kind of tough. It gets a little clogged in the middle there for Hunter Dickinson, and they get out and run and gun and kind of take him out of the game. But nice win there at the end. I believe it was against Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. So, Bill Self will figure it out. I got no worries about Kansas. But when it comes to March, like the shooting is going to be a little bit of a problem unless they get somebody to figure that out for them. And then UCLA, I thought they looked pretty good, a lot better than what we thought they were going to be this year. We didn't really know what they were going to be. They had so many international guys and so many freshmen and guys that, sophomores that we didn't really get to see play a lot. So they had a 2-point loss to Marquette, a 4-point loss to Gonzaga. So I think it's a lot of things that Coach Cronin can take as positives. I mean, Sebastian Mack, the freshman, he looks like a stud. And then Berkey Bucantil, love these international names. Saw his first action of the year, kind of an up and down deal for him, but they're going to look so different when it's January, February that, the fact that they look pretty good and they're hanging with these teams right now gives me some hope for them later in the year. And then, we'll not bury the lead here with Purdue. I mean, Zach Edey was an absolute monster. Marquette tried to speed him up and run them off the floor. But, those guards, Lawyer, Braden Smith, they played really well, man. They had 3 wins, Gonzaga, Tennessee, and Marquette. I don't think you can really do much better than beating 3 of the top, 10, 11 teams in the country. So I think the biggest deal for them, along with Lawyer and Smith's progression, has been Lance Jones. That guy can shoot. So another floor spacer, and that's what you need. North Carolina's kind of doing the same with Baycott. You just get the big guy in the middle that can dominate and surround them with shooters. So I think they're going to be the number 1 team in the country tomorrow. We'll see. But any takeaways from you, Jay, on
I think
the Maui?
They definitely should be the number 1 team in the country tomorrow when that poll comes out. I'm impressed with our guy Shaka. Okay?
Here we go.
All right, you got it out of me. Marquette is looking good. Man, I love Kolik's game so much. I will sit here and talk about his game, how smooth he makes it look, how everything he does just looks effortless. And that is just going to give Marquette such a big boost at the right time of the season. Sometimes you just need that player, that one guy that has that extra little bit of to get you over the hump as a coach. And maybe Kolik is that guy for Smart. But Jones, obviously, is tough to defend as well. And their bench is better than it was last year, too. They're deeper. It just feels like a more complete Marquette team. That's sort of one of my takeaways. I'll go ahead. All right, Shaka, you got me. Fine. You got me on that one. That's good. That's good. All right, what do we got? Got the comments rolling in still. What do we got going on?
Yeah, let's see right here. I think Corey's got an update for us. We flashed it up there. Finished second in the Big Jam. Nice, man. Congrats on that. That's awesome, my guy. And we got Thomas in here. Yep, when the Purdue guards play good, they are hard to beat. Yeah, I think anytime you have a top 5 team and your guards play well, it can be pretty hard to beat. But yeah, especially these Purdue guys who couldn't handle the pressure of old FDU last year. And then Kalen back. Yeah, you told me. That's right. Kalen's in here saying wings are thin for Kansas, for sure, man. So I thought Nicholas Timberlake would be much better coming over as a shooter from Towson. There's time, man. There's a lot of time.
Doesn't it feel like he's going to come around though? Like shooters that they don't not shoot for as long as he's not shooting. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I feel like he's going to come around. He's got to come around. He just didn't forget how to shoot, did he?
No, I don't think he did, man. Like it's weird. Like he was such a good player for Towson, but that's the thing you get with these these guys coming up to the big leagues, man. Like sometimes they don't look the same, and that's the thing we talk about all offseason. It's like which guys are going to spin up and struggle, and which guys are going to be able to handle it, and then which guys spin down and become rock stars like a Pajimski, and we've seen plenty of cases of that. So Thomas went there with the old LOL. Absolutely, man. I have to eat my words early in the season with the Purdue Michigan State, but hey, man, it's not March yet, so maybe this thing will work itself out.
They don't call him Coach November. This is Izzo. He does what he does in March, okay? Like, we know it. But, yeah, it's obviously a lot of things can change. Some shooters are going to figure out how to shoot. Some of these teams are going to put it together and gel a little bit. But someone that looked pretty good over Turkey Week, Villanova wins the battle for Atlantis after some questions. After their loss to Penn. Mike, how are you feeling about the Wildcats now? And maybe some other takeaways from Atlantis.
Yeah, had the old eyebrow raised with Villanova. We talked them up as well as a very dangerous team, and maybe a team you can put some money on to make a Final Four just with how experienced they are and how much, like, man, all these guys that are coming in, Bamba and Burton, all these guys, we're going to, obviously going to take time for these guys to fit, but they bounced back and they crushed Maryland. We talked about that last week at home. It was like the 30 or 40 point win, which was crazy. Held Maryland to 40 points. And yeah, this week they got wins over Tech, North Carolina, Memphis, who's looked really good. And Eric Dixon, man, he's just been a beast. 21-8 during the tournament. He had a 34-10 performance against Armando Bacot. Justin Moore just always rock solid. I think the thing that really stuck out to me as I was kind of, perusing box scores and everything and just, trying to wrap my head around all these tournaments that happened were, all 5 starters, double figures in the championship game against Memphis. And I think that's what Villanova has to. I don't think it could be an Eric Dixon going for 34-10 every night. I don't know that really works for them because they barely pulled that game out. So I think they just have to have solid production all the way around. And then for North Carolina, they're a legit NCAA tournament team. Like, I get that Arkansas's got some question marks, right? Like, so that was kind of another headline that kind of stuck out to me. But, UNC blasted Northern Iowa. They fell to Villanova by 2, and then they won by 15 over Arkansas. So those teams feel like one's heading up. The other one's kind of headed the other way. North Carolina is now 69th in the country in three-point shooting. We talked about that a ton last year. Their three-point shooting wasn't there. Caleb Love wasn't shooting it very well. And when they're hitting their threes and you have a guy that can get you 20 and 10 every night, that's a big thing. No Brady Manick, right? The whole deal with Nance didn't work out last year. But Harrison Ingram, man, the transfer from Stanford, so versatile, can shoot the three, can pass, can rebound. Man, he has been awesome, and I think he's going to keep them in the top 20 all year. And then, I want to talk about Arkansas, man, like just a bunch of great individual guards, but those guys, like, Battle comes from a Temple program that wasn't really winning. Mark obviously came over from Houston, so used to winning. But Ellis, like the Louisville train wreck, like, I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of guys that can score the basketball, but I don't know that they really know how to play with Devo Davis. I don't know what's going on with him. Played him a ton at like 3% in DFS the last couple of games they had, and basically a no-show after being a huge part of their four-guard rotation last year. I think the thing that sticks out, like if you look at KenPom, Jay, they're 336th in assisted field goals made. 336th in assisted field goals made. They're also giving up 35% from 3. Like that ain't gonna. That's a hero ball, my friend. That's what they used to do with you in Schulenburg.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's how I led the district in assists. Was I was the one. No, I'm just kidding. I would have gotten this team above 336 in assisted field goals made. I guess the best point here. And all seriousness, that's something that will balance out, in my opinion. I don't believe Arkansas is going to stay under 300th in assisted field goals made in the country. I think some of this will come back to the norm. Now, the point remains the same about them all coming together, not just playing as individuals. But I feel like they're going to figure it out.
It's early. It's still early.
Yeah, it's way early. And then Caleb Love, I've given him a hard time after last season, after the way that he underperformed. But he hurt North Carolina last year in the way that he played. No matter what was going on with him, or he wasn't good for that basketball team, and it showed. And getting a change of scenery, sometimes you have talk about a team having addition by subtraction, but then that person then goes on to the next place and just blossoms. Caleb Love is having such a great start to this season. All of his percentages are career highs. He's shooting the ball super, super well. He's the guy that's getting assists for Arizona. He looks like a different ball player. So shout out to Caleb Love making the most out of that situation. Memphis also looked the part, beating Michigan and Arkansas. Quinterly is just such a solid point guard. We talked about Kolek earlier, but Quinterly not quite on that same level, but definitely one that will hold his own throughout the season. And of course, David Jones went nuclear for 36 in the win over the Razorbacks. Michigan.
Shout out to Eric for David Jones dropping 36.
Shout out David Jones, always the greatest DFS play in the history of DFS for our guy Eric the Blue at Fantasy Nav on Twitter. Make sure you follow him, and then our guy at the Real Napier as well. Follow us, the whole Green Screen Crew. Do your thing. Follow us all. But yeah, McDaniel has to play well at the point for Michigan for them to be competitive in the Big Ten. But they look, let's just say they look better.
Yeah,
they would look.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, I'll agree with
that.
We
got some more comments rolling in here.
Yeah, what do we got here?
Going on?
Yeah, what do we got here? I love some of these comments.
Myron.
Hey, FAU, not a fluke. Well, they lost to Bryant. That's a bad loss, but yes, they were impressive. We're about to talk about them here in just a second, Myron. So just hang tight for some thoughts on FAU.
Definitely. You got Cam back in. Nova has like 3 guys who shoot.
Yeah.
I'm blind. 88% from the free throw line too. Yeah, that's huge. No doubt about it. Yeah, it makes a big difference. Guard play, free throws, all those things, they matter. As cliche as it might sound, they do matter, Cam. Cormac Ryan is an experienced up UNC a ton so far as well. I've liked what I've seen for the most part. Mike, what about Cormac Ryan?
That's my guy, dude.
Is sort of, well, I know. That's why I'm going to give you an opportunity to give him some fun here. What do you think Cormac Ryan does? You know, what is what he do in terms of bringing things to the table? How does he affect the game so much for UNC?
Yeah, obviously his 3-point shooting is great, but he's just, man, he's so underrated defensively, and I just feel like he's a winner, man. Like, you know, last year with Notre Dame wasn't great, but the previous year, tied for second in the ACC, and he's a big part of that. So, I think it gives him floor spacing. I think he gives him toughness. That combination of him and Harrison Ingram, who Kalen's talking about, Harrison Ingram is a great swap for Caleb Love and then some. Definitely an upgrade. Yeah, that's why I had him very high on my transfer board, because a guy at that size to be able to pass and shoot the three, to play next to – you need space for Baycott. So to play him next to Baycott and then surround him with R.J. Davis who can shoot, Cormac Ryan who can shoot, Paxton Wojcik who can shoot, like – I mean, North Carolina is going to be a problem. You know, Baycott getting dominated by Eric Dixon was a little bit of a surprise, but I'm not really high on North Carolina this year. And then Mason back, man, I love this right here. You hated it, and now Nebraska's 7-0. Nebraska is 7-0, man. They look pretty good. You know, Mast is looking good. Bryce Williams, I loved him from Charlotte. He's looking solid. Casey, he's always fun to watch, shooting the three ball. I'm gonna wait till they play a little bit better competition coming up soon here. So we'll see we'll see how it goes. And then I got a few more comments here. Kalen's back. Clearly having PTSD against Nova. It wasn't a great performance, but man, Nova looks good. Like you said, it feels like Jay, we were just talking mess about FAU and Villanova last week, and now we're all high on them again. It's going to go up and down all season. But you like to see the consistency throughout the year. You know what I mean?
That's the roller coaster of college basketball, right? And we forget that a lot of these teams are still figuring each other out. And the transfer portal, there's a reason why there were 1,700 people changing. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time when you're going to have bad nights, and that's okay. And Myron, let's go ahead and hit on Florida Atlantic here, who bounced back after that really, really bad loss to Bryant last week. And they won the ESPN events Invitational. Mike, we were definitely tough on the Owls last week. Now, how about some flowers for them?
I should have bought you flowers. I mean, you get wins over Butler. Hey, man, you're supposed to be doing the singing, not me. Butler, Texas A&M, Virginia Tech wins, all quality wins. They're now up to 41st in the country in three-point shooting at 38.2%. Man, it's been so much fun to see the offenses this year. It's been nice. Games being played in the 150s has been really fun on the eyes. Obviously, the block charge rule is a huge effect on that. But, I think the key thing for FAU is Elijah Martin. He finally looks healthy. Couple of big games there. John L. Davis is John L. Davis. Those two-man dynamic duo. But it was Golden, man, the big man in the middle. Like he's really improved on both ends and able to stay on the floor, in longer spurts. I think he's been the, kind of the catalyst for, driving this team after that Bryant loss there. But I mean, the Aggies in this tournament as well, a little banged up, but hey, they won tonight. They didn't have Coleman or Radford, and Wade Taylor, man, doing his thing for sure. I didn't quite see him as the preseason SEC Player of the Year, but the hype was real, and maybe it's just because I have my burnt orange glasses on sometimes, but he's a quality player for sure.
He is. He's a good player. I thought Butler had a solid tournament, beat Penn State and Boise State. Tight loss to FAU, who obviously we just put a lot of shine on. Posh Alexander's playing very well for the Bulldogs. I don't know if they can challenge for an at-large.
Nah, I don't know, man. It's going to be tough.
In a tough Big East.
Yeah, it's a tough Big East.
They showed a lot of fight. That's a good basketball team right there. Solid tournament this week, like I said. And, it's one of those that, it shouldn't be right on the edge, and a couple of key wins here and there could really boost their resume. It's, something to watch. And then, of course, BYU and Colorado State surging early.
Yeah, man.
Season. Two of the biggest risers in the country, Mike. Talk to us about them.
Yeah, our guy, man. Like, come on. Like, what's going on here? Mark Pope has his team up to number 10 in KenPom. What in the Big 12? What's going on?
That's the one and done rub right there.
It's the one and done rub.
Just the one and done rub.
If you guys didn't watch, that's one of the best interviews we did this offseason. I mean, thanks to all the coaches. I think we did 11 interviews. Mark Pope was awesome, man. He was so kind and gracious. But now he's got his team balling, man, like top 20 in both offensive and defensive efficiency. They have wins over San Diego State, had a win over NC State the other night. There's so much depth on this team, man. Like, they just come out in waves. Spencer Johnson, Dallin Hall, Foos Traore, just a spectacular, team. And they know how to play together. A lot of these guys, they're cohesive. They were there last year.
Yeah.
Like, it makes a huge deal early in the season when you played together. Which we don't get to see a lot, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to the BYU Cougs, man, for sure. And then Colorado State beat down my guys at Creighton, man. Like, what happened here? But it's not about Creighton. This is about the Rams here. 16th in offensive efficiency, 68th in defensive efficiency. They've also got wins against Pitt and FSU. We talked about star guard Isaiah Stevens all offseason and last year. But really, Nick Clifford coming over from Colorado, and then Patrick Cartier, who we did a duo with our guy Stevens, and his 3-point shooting has really elevated this team. They got some other pieces that can really shoot, and they're just a threat in the Mountain West for sure. So that's Mountain West. Jay, what do you think about this Mountain West, man?
3 Mountain West bids last year. Like, can we get 4, 5? Maybe even. We'll see how it goes. 6 teams in the top 100 of KenPom right now. This is not your grandpa's Mountain West Conference anymore. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Shout out. We love some Mountain West basketball for sure. We love that everybody continues to get in that live chat, in that comment section, dropping them.
Man, Kalen's taking his victory laps, right? Or I guess this was not a victory lap, but Eric Dixon busting Baycott's ass should be no surprise. I mean, 34-10 is a little surprising, but yeah, he can stretch the floor, bring Baycott out of the lane. So yeah, I get that. And then Myron back in. Baylor may be a problem for the Big 12, young but deep. Yeah, man. What do you say, Jay, about your boy Scott Drew? Like,
yeah, you can say whatever you want about Scott Drew, the person or whatever, but the basketball coach is really, really good. So yeah, Myron, for sure. Absolutely.
Oh, then Corey in here. Creighton's still your champ. Yes, I'm not gonna jump off the tracks here. Even though Trey Alexander cost me some coin this week with his PRA number and fantasy score numbers. But hey, that's neither here nor there. I still like what Creighton offers. Stephen Ashworth, I just need him to kind of get going with this team. It seems like he's deferring. I get that, right, as the point guard now. So, but he needs to shoot the ball a little bit more for sure. So appreciate all the comments.
Sometimes you just need a ball player to be a ball player and not just try to be a point guard.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the point guard, but be a basketball player and get your buckets too. No doubt about it. Last headline tonight before we move on to our next segment. DePaul drops to 1-5 after a loss to Northern Illinois. How much leash is left for Coach Stubblefield, Mike?
I don't think there's much. This is not as low as it. I know they've been down these dumps before, and for a while, man. It's been a while since the DePaul program has been since the mid 2000s. Really been a factor. And speaking of factors, the 4 factors of basketball, Mr. Heinrich. I know that you're super efficient in all these: effective field goal percentage, offensive rebounding percentage, turnovers, and free throw rate. They aren't good at any of these things, so there's a reason why they can't win games, especially the fact that they can't rebound. Deshaun Nelson is killing me in DFS because he picks up 2 fouls in the first minute and 30 seconds every game and then goes to the bench. They can't take care of the ball. They're in like the low 200s and taking care of the ball. So KenPom's projecting them for 6 wins. And even that, I'm like, where are we getting 6? I don't see them winning any of the Big East, but I guess you got some home games in there. I guess they'll trickle in a win or two. And Program's just still on some life support here, man. So you hate to see it. That was one of the teams, like when you had the college basketball games back in the day, I would select DePaul because I love the Blue Demon logo and get all the you bring them up up the ladder there to get all the top players. So that was good times. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be tough, but still early, right? Still early.
Yeah, but man, we're not good. Like, not even a little bit. Like, I want to just be like, are you a little bit good? Are you that good?
Yeah.
No, they're not. And that's unfortunate. So we'll see what's going on. Make sure you smash those like and subscribe buttons if you're hanging out with us here live or watching later on. Leave a comment in the live chat or in the comment section later on if you are not watching live. But of course, you should have those notification bells on so you know when your broskies are going on. You got me, you got Mike, you got Eric, you got our guy Nape. Nape C Hustle, as our guy Cam, what's the word? Glossed him.
Coin.
Yeah, coin. Oh, we're going to go coin. Okay, I was like, glossed him. Bing. But yeah, man. Follow everybody. Follow at Get Green Screens on X and follow at One and Done CBB as well. That makes sure you know every time we're going live. And then we drop bets. We drop our core fours on there as well. So make sure you are locked in over there in Elon's hellhole and on TikTok as well at Get Green Screens. We're dropping things over there. Here we go now. Explosive performers of the week. Explosive like those fireworks were last night in San Marcos at the Texas State football game. Every time they scored a touchdown, I mean, like the big shell ones too. And Texas State dropped 52 last night. So plenty of fireworks down in San Marcos, but also some fireworks this week, some explosive performers. So Mike, go ahead and tell us about your first one.
Yeah, first guy I got to shout out, man, Bruce Thornton, a guy that we talked about this offseason as a kind of a breakout candidate. I mean, we saw flashes last year, right? But Bruce Thornton, man, 13-5-7 with 3 steals and the victory over a pretty good Santa Clara team. And then Friday against Alabama, 29 points, 4 assists. Whew, he is a stud point guard for sure and really elevating. We talked about it, Chris Holtman, this team right now, like you needed to be patient. Some of these sophomores are looking really, really good. Roddy Gale's looking really good. Para played really well the other night. Sometimes you just got to be patient. So, love me some Bruce Thornton, and he had a really good week, Jay.
Ohio State now 5-1, 18th in the country in offensive efficiency. Moving on to the next player here on the list. Who do we have, Mike?
Yeah, LJ Cryer, guard from Houston, played Montana. So obviously not the biggest name, but dropped 24 points, and he has been a monster offensively for Houston. Now he's probably not going to give you as much defense as some of the guys he had last year, but his ability to put the ball in the basket and kind of be a creator last second is really going to be a big boost for these Cougars, man. What are your thoughts on Coach Sampson right now?
Yeah, I want to talk to Sampson. There is no longer rebuilding for good coaches and good programs. There is reloading, and that's what Coach Sampson did in the portal with guard play. Who is next, Mike?
Kello Ware, man, our boy, finally getting the breakout that we've been hoping for. Had a really good, really good start to the season, but this week in particular, man, a Harvard team that is actually pretty solid, man. 28 points, 8 boards, 2 blocks, 3 steals, and a win. So you'd love to see that, obviously. And then 12-7-2 on Monday. Look, it's Louisville, right? You can't be that excited about the old win over Louisville, but if you lose to Louisville, then it's a problem. So you still got to win the games that you play. Yeah, man. So I loved Kello Ware's performance, and I'm continuing to kind of watch his progress as we head into as we get closer to the conference games.
All right, no doubt about it. And we've been waiting on that breakout from Kel L. Where we knew if he got that run, he would be a game Changer. More comments. Who's hopping in the comment section?
Oh, we got some more. Let's pop in here. Iron's blossoming relevance is the Dave days. Yeah. Yeah, Terry Cummings days. Yeah. Yeah, Kalen saying Ohio State's his pick for second or third in the Big Ten. I mean, Big Ten's wide open outside of first right now. Obviously, it looks like Purdue's going to do their thing, and then we'll see Purdue and Marquette. So many similarities to regular season play right now. Like Painter and Smart need to figure it out in March, and we'll see where that goes from there. But, yeah, Chris Holtman, man, like I'm a fan. Offensively, he's one of the best coaches in the country for sure. So, yep, appreciate the comments, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot for those comments. Keep them coming. Mike, who else changed the game this week for you?
Yeah, our boy, Ray J. Dennis, man, from Baylor. Shout out Baylor, right? My Baylor Bears.
Your Baylor Bears,
yeah,
Mike. That's
right. And an up-tempo game against Florida, man. He had 24 points and 8 assists, chipped in 3 steals. A great performance. Also got a win over Oregon State. Didn't have to do much in that game. They controlled it. It was basically a 20-point game the entire game. Only had 8 points and 6 assists. But, man, that performance against Florida, like, you love to see it. You know, he can do his thing and get his buckets too. Like we kind of talk about Ash, where it's like he's not afraid to go out and get 20, 25 from his point guard position, but he's done a great job of getting others involved, especially Walter, the freshman, who's looked fantastic for sure.
Baylor Bears undefeated so far. And of course, sexy Canna, Ray J, a big reason why. We always love to show mid-majors some love, of course, on One and Done. So, Mike, give us an explosive performer that people might not have heard about because they're not getting the love on the big stage.
Yeah, we gave this team no love from Evansville, and I'm probably going to butcher the last name here. Ben Humrichous, I believe is how I heard it said. And this cat, man, he has been balling. 27-6-2, with 2 blocks and a steal in a win over Southeastern Missouri State, old SEMO, and then 28 points and 2 blocks in a win over Chattanooga this week. Evansville, man, doing their thing, man. I think they're undefeated, if I'm not mistaken, Jay. It's a good time.
We did not have Evansville challenging in the Missouri Valley. No, we did not, and they still might not.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes right there. Shout out to Humrichous, Ben. That's a name that I hope pops up on more than one occasion throughout the. That's pretty nice. Humrichous, I like that. Very good. All right, very good. Let's move on now to the 3rd edition of One and Done's Power Rankings. And as we do that, make sure you smash those like and subscribe buttons and hop in the live chat or the comments like so many people already have. Power Rankings, you know we like to do a top 10, and we go backwards from 10 down to 1. So, Mike, not a lot of movement last week. Go ahead and give us 10 through 6.
All right. Well, lots of movement this week. We'll start with number 10. That's going to be Gonzaga. They were not ranked in our top 10 the prior week. And, first entry into our power rankings. So welcome, Coach Few and company. They went 2-1 in Maui. Now they're 4-1 on the season. EK is fully healthy. He's looking like that 20-10 guy from a few years ago at Wyoming. Number 9, a little bit of slide here, down from number 3, and that's Tennessee, down 6 spots. Look, I get it. The 2 losses were against really tough competition against Kansas and Purdue. I think really the slide that we kind of came up with here for the 6 spots was more due to what other teams did this week than anything that Tennessee didn't do. Now, 2 losses, obviously you got to take that slide regardless of the competition. But still strong, man. Number 1 defense in the country. Like I could see them easily climbing back into our top 5, in the next couple of weeks here. And then at number 8, we're looking at Houston moving up 2 slots. They're 7-0, sporting the 10th best offense as far as adjusted efficiency and the 2nd ranked defense. Of course, right? It seems like they're always top 10 in both. And then sliding up to number 7, up 2 spots as well. The old Hurricanes, they did the old like bye week thing where you don't do anything and other teams slide down. They kind of move up. They got some pretty good wins on their resume, but we are going to know a lot about them as they're traveling to Kentucky on Tuesday. So looking forward to that matchup. I don't know how Trey Mitchell's going to guard our boy No Chad Omir, but that'll be something to watch because there's going to be guards running up and down that game, so that'll be a lot of fun to watch. Duke at number 6, up one, racking up wins over LaSalle in Southern Indiana. Hey, look, another big matchup this week. They're on the road at Arkansas, who is in need of a kind of a bounce back or, really some shine, right? And that would really help them beating a Duke team. So there are some fun matchups coming up. Jay, I'll go ahead and let you count down 5 to our new number one, because I didn't want to have to eat the crow and say who our number one team is right now.
I love it. I'm not letting this not letting the graphics department. Oh, they did it anyway. I was gonna say I'm not gonna let the graphics team take that slide away without me talking about Connect for the Volunteers. Nobody wants to play that team with the way that they play defense and then the way that Connect is going to score that ball. So shout out to the Volunteers. They'll be fine. All right, there we go. Kansas down 3 to number 5. A little bit of a fall after Marquette exposed some flaws, but did pick up a nice win over those same Volunteers out in Maui. Marquette up 4 from number 8. Big jump for the Golden Eagles after wins over UCLA and Kansas in Maui, obviously losing to maybe somebody that's up a few spots in this poll. That's a tease here in the biz. Lost in the championship, obviously. UConn up 3, neutral site win over Texas and a home blowout of Manhattan. The Huskies are there. Up 3 to number 3. Arizona, our former number 1, is now at number 2. A nice neutral site win over the Fighting Tom Izzos. Fall from the top spot probably has more to do with what the team in the number 1 spot did this week. Of course, it's Purdue up 3, bounced Tennessee, the Zags, and Marquette. This team looked the part, no doubt about it. Our top 10 from 10 to 1, Gonzaga, Tennessee, Houston, Miami, Duke, Kansas, Marquette, UConn, Arizona, and Purdue. Comments are flowing like wine.
Kalen's not a fan. Yeah, the shooting top 15 team, maybe. No, you got Hunter Dickinson. They have a nice win over Kentucky. Until I see Bill Self not at the top of the Big 12, which is the strongest conference in the country, yep. I don't care what they're throwing out there. I'm just going to assume. Going to assume that they're going to win the Big 12. So Myron in here, giving his comments. Miami first, Kentucky 5th in three-point shooting in the country. Flamethrowers, yes. Yes, I'm looking forward to that game. Set the DVR. I don't even have to set the DVR. I'm just going to set the alarms and notification bells like you should have for the show and watch that game. And then Kalen back in here. Marquette deserves to be number 3. If we did that, then Jay might not, he might just walk off the stage.
I already gave Shaka so much love earlier on. I don't know if I could have dealt with that. Obviously that could change real quick, but Marquette is definitely a top 5 team, no doubt about it. But yeah, shout out to everybody hopping in that live chat. We appreciate that. Now it's here, of course. It's the DFS talk time with our guy, the captain, OG Money Mike. Gonna give you a breakdown for tomorrow here. A little mini breakdown, not as in-depth maybe as you might get from a normal DFS show for a big old slate. But you're going to get a little bit of a breakdown here tonight from Mike. Go ahead, Mike. Hit us up with what we need to know for tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll go game by game real quick here. And there's a lot of blowouts on the slate. So it feels like we are right back to days 1 and 3 of the season, 1 through 3. So Oakland, plus 15 at Xavier from Ken Palm. For me, Desmond Claude, 6,100. It's still too cheap, man. He does so much for this team. Djokovic is going to get some more run, playing 20 minutes right now. He's 3,900. He's in the player pool. Western Illinois, 57 implied total at Wisconsin, 83 implied total. I want some of the rotated Wisconsin bigs. Crowell at 6,800. Walls at 6,400. Looking at Western Illinois, 57. I I don't know that I want anything. Myers is interesting at 4,400 just because he plays a lot of minutes. So, I'll look at Myers a little bit there. And then New Hampshire's implied 60 at UConn 87. So plus 27 there for old New Hampshire. New Hampshire. They got some interesting value plays.
New Hampshire.
Yeah, still Hampshire is at plus 27. They got interesting value plays. Woodyard, he's 3,500. He plays. Miller's 4,500. He plays. So like they're on the court, and there's not a ton of like value that you're like super excited for. I think the one UConn player, I worry because Klingon's almost not playable right now because they don't really need him to do much. And we saw in the Texas game they didn't really need him to do much at all. They're just going to play him his 20 to 22 minutes, and he's going to, maybe sneak into the high 20s, and tough, man. I know he's in foul trouble during the Texas game. So Samson, the guy behind him, this Samson Johnson, like he looks pretty good too. So like they just landed the bigs at UConn, man.
I hope that price on him comes down just enough. It creeps down and then
right until he drops the 50 bomb.
Hammer. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah, Caravan at 7,100 is probably the guy that I'm most looking to. Like Newton, Klingon, I just feel like they're too expensive without trusted value because I feel like you're gonna get killed by some mid-tier plays here if you do that. But there's always the upside of those guys to get 50, so I don't mind it. St. Peter's, another 50s implied total, 52 points. What are we doing here? At Rutgers, 66. That's kind of a cross-off game for me. I don't know that I'll be using much from that. The Rutgers guys are
this game here is dead.
This game
cross it off then.
I'm not going. Somebody here is going to beat me from this game. Oh, I know you're excited about this one, Jay. Houston Christian at TCU, 99-65 is the. I can't even count that high. Plus 34 is that?
I was told there would be no math.
Seriously,
what's your stack here? If you're gonna stack this, Mike, how much is too much?
Yeah, it's scary because TCU plays like 11 or 12 guys in these games. Like if you look at their box score from last game, they had about 12 guys run out there for 15 plus minutes. So there's value here from Houston Christian. Basil's 4,100. He'll play high 20s minutes. TCU, you got to have some of these guys. Anytime you have a team projected to score 100 points, like even if they play 12 guys, like at least 2 guys you're going to hit. I mean, 5x, and then you probably have a couple other guys flirt with the 3.5 to 4x. So, Ernest Uday is 4,200. He was in the starting lineup. Coles is 7,500. Really like him. Love Nelson. He's at 6,500. Anderson's at 6,300. Love those plays. I don't care if you want to go to PV. Like you just pretty much play anything on TCU. Northern Illinois and Northwestern, a little bit more competitive of a game. Northern Illinois, really solid without Keyshawn Williams this year. David Coit just dropped, I think, 34 on DePaul last night. So he got that big price boost. I'm not really on him. For me, it's Barry. He's at 5,600 for Northwestern. He plays pretty good minutes. He's kind of the guy I'm looking at, like Barnheiser and Bowie. I just feel like they're too expensive. I could get to one of them. If I had to choose one, I'd probably go with Barnheiser because he can double. And then Eastern Washington, 68 points implied. At Washington State, 83 points. Magnuson from Eastern Washington, he's 3,700. He's a decent play. Heinsu from Washington State's 3,900. Like it feels like if it's a blowout, he's going to get a little extra run. He's been okay. He doesn't really shoot the ball, which is annoying, but he's on the floor for under 4K. They really like Rice at 6,900 for Washington State. And then the final game, Utah 69 at St. Mary's 68. This is going to be a fun game to watch. St. Mary's really needs a victory here against the quality opponents. They've kind of struggled in the early going. All the guys seem to have priced right, like Mahaney, 7K. I don't like playing guys against St. Mary's, and it just feels like everyone's a 3.5 to 4x type play. So, yeah, man, there's a lot of blowouts. So,
well, and that one's tighter. I mean, so you know that there's gonna some of those higher priced guys might get there, but it's just, are we spinning the wheel? Are we throwing darts? Are we flipping coins? Are we, whatever phrase you want to use there? Maybe some mid-priced players, and you hope that they get, they're the ones that have their, if you can find somebody in that 5,500 range, 5,000 range when you're cleaning up the end of your lineup, and you're like, all right, here's the guy I like. Who knows? Could go off there. And of course, Mike, what would it be? What would one and done be? And Mama Rock's asking for it. Is there going to be a Core Four or more? I know Mike has cooked up the Core Four, and then I may give you a little more on the back side of that. So let's get to it. The often imitated but never duplicated. Give us tomorrow's Core Four.
All right, so I think this is a Core Four or that I'm going to give, because I can't just do four, right? There's always the fourth guy is always like there's another guy right there that you can play too. So we'll give you the Core Four or Desmond Claude. Just his price, he should be a 7K player at this point. 6,100. Xavier. 24% usage rate, 26% shot rate, and a 20% assist rate. And he's attempted 17 threes. He hasn't hit many, but the fact that he's jacking up threes, you get that extra bonus that could go a long way for you. Playing Oakland. Oakland is 289th in assisted field goals allowed. So you love the usage. You love the assist rate with Claude. They're also 319th in opponent three-point rate. So Claude seems to check all the boxes. You get the usage. He's going to take shots. He's going to take three-point shots. They allow three-point shots. And he has a 20% assist rate, which Oakland's giving up close to the 300th worst in the country. So Desmond Claude at 6,100. Going to be using him a ton. Next guy is going to be – this is a coin flip here, man. So this could be another or situation. Tyler Wall from Wisconsin. He's 6,400. Western Illinois, 347th in effective field goal percentage. There's going to be a lot of rebounding opportunities because they struggle to get the ball in the basket. So when I was looking at it, I was like, man, do I play Tyler Wall or do I play Stephen Crawl, who's at 6,800? So $400 more. So you get the $400 savings with the Wall. The rates are fantastic, 24% usage, 21% shot rate, 28% combined rebounding rate. The thing that really sets me over is you get the $400 discount, but you also get a 3% block and steal rate with Tyler Wall. So Western Illinois, 322nd in opponent block rate. So they allow shots to be blocked, and they're 354th in opponent steal rate. So Wall has a little bit of advantage, not only in the price, but an advantage over the stocks, which I know, Jay, you are a large fan of grabbing some stocks as a game changer in DFS. Stocks. Yeah, look at some stocks.
Thick stocks. Hey, yeah, and anytime you can get somebody from Wisconsin, like our guy T-Pain likes to say, Wisconsin. I was mansion with Wisconsin. How do we? All
right. So next guy here, Jacoby Coles, TCU. We gotta have some players from TCU. Jacoby Coles, he's 7,500. Oh boy, HCU, 360th. And defensive efficiency. Hate that word. Third to last in the country. They're fourth in tempo. TCU's 19th in tempo. There's going to be 5,000 points scored in this game. 5,000 points
not
scored.
2, not 3,
so
not
Coles,
4.
You got to have them. You also look at it too, like Cole's solid rates, man. 22% usage, a 25% shot rate. You get the rebounding. He's also got a 15% assist rate for a big man. He shoots threes. He's taking 15 attempts. He's shooting really well from three. He's got a 4% steal rate. You look at it in HCU, man, 352nd in assisted field goals made. Yeah, that's good for the opposing team. And TCU's 8th in assisted field goals made. So that's like a match made in heaven for all kinds of fantasy points. It would not surprise me if TCU has 25 assists tomorrow, which is why the fourth and final play is going to be an or situation because everybody's going to play 20 to 25 minutes. It's either going to be Avery Anderson at 6,300 for TCU or Jameer Nelson Jr. at 6,500 for TCU. Same thing here, guys. Like Nelson, 23% usage, 22% shot rate, 19% assist rate. Anderson, 25% usage, 23% shot rate, 29% assist rate. And they both attempt double-digit threes so far this season. One of these two guys feels like is going to smash. You pair them up. You play Anderson with Coles. You play Nelson with Coles. Feels like you're going to get a lot of assisted field goals there. Just watch the dollar signs rack up. Watch the fantasy points rack up, and that's what I got for you on tomorrow's slate as a kind of a 10-minute dive. Did I do that in 10 minutes? I tried to.
Desmond, Claude, Tyler Wall, Jacoby Coles, and then of course here comes the one and done or more between Avery Anderson they Jameer Nelson Jr., Anderson or Nelson Jr., however you want to shove them into their lineup. Do both of them, honestly. Like, get crazy and stack the 99 implied total points. TCU. That is correct. That is a 99 out of 100, but 99.
To a team that fourth in tempo and dead last in like defensive efficiency and assisted field. Oh my god! Like,
if there was ever a day to be a horned frog, it's tomorrow in this matchup.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, there we go. There's your core four and or more or four more. Comments here.
Mama Rocks.
Best bets. Mama Rocks back.
Laughing. I don't know if he's laughing about what I'm saying or my core was bad or the or was good.
Yeah, no, the or. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's a compliment, Mike. Take the very good. Mama Rocks. Thank you. We appreciate that. And we appreciate you being amazing by always hanging out in the live chat. No doubt about it. We got any more before we get to the best bets? We got any more comments out there? Kaylin back in. Like the list though
from Marquette's top 3 comment. Yeah, I appreciate. Yeah, appreciate it. It was really hard for me to put Purdue at that number 1 spot, but there we are. Jay, give us a bet, man. They deserve to win some money on the bets, my guy. Can you tee them up with some sauce?
I'd love to. I would love to. Coming in hot with Eastern Washington. Plus 14.5 at Washington State. Eastern Washington might be 1-4, but this is one of those circumstances where you shouldn't just look at the records. If you watch the ball, they played a tough non-conference slate so far. Out on the road, Utah, Ole Miss, Cincinnati, and Stanford. They only lost to Ole Miss by 11 and Cincy by 8. Of course, we know that Coach Riley won the Big Sky last year, and this one will be closer than expected. So I'm loving Eastern Washington at plus 14.5. Mike, I'm going to come to you because you know these folks. They love the OG money, Mike, here. They need a bet from El Capitan. What do you got, Mike?
All right, I'll give him one.
The arm warmed up there?
Yeah,
like you're taking like Cam Newton, like that kid in the commercial taking Cam Newton's spot.
That's right.
Arm warmed up.
I am back on the Oakland train, plus 14 at Xavier. Right. You can find these on DK as of like at least an hour ago. Kind of the same situation you're talking about, Jay. Oakland playing a tough non-con. So we had them covering first game of the year against Ohio State, 19.5, and it was 79-73. So we banked on that one. They also covered on the road Illinois. They were plus 24.5. They lost by 11. I mean, they have a star, man. We talked about him this offseason, Trey Townsend. And then we have a breakout stud, which we saw some crazy graphic where he's only shooting 3-pointers. I forget, like, he's like trying to go for the record for like and Jack Golke. He's just shooting threes. He doesn't do anything else, which is amazing. I love it. That sounds like a role that I would want, man. But yeah, try and grab yourself some Oakland plus 14 at Xavier. Jay, can you give him one more, man? Like, don't. No, you got something else cooked up.
I do, but Golke's job, that's what I used to do when I was skipping class at UT, and I would go over to Gregory Gym and run pickup basketball with the old Texas football players that were still finishing up their degree. Everett Rawls out there. Shout out OJ McClintock. Shout out to those guys I used to run out there with. And my job was to stand in the corner and just rotate around and shoot threes all day, and we would run for 6 hours at a time. So, yeah, I appreciate what Golke is doing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I will give them one last bet, Mike, and I'm going to take an over here. We're going to play a number here, a little over-under action. We're going to take the over in the Hampton and UMBC matchup, 167.5. Going to go over that one. Hampton is 17th in tempo and 44th in the three-point rate. UMBC is second in tempo and 135th in effective field goal percentage. KenPom has this total at 173, obviously 5.5 over the line. So we are going to go over here. Hampton and UMBC going over the total. And Mitt, better late than never, but never late is better.
Mitt, my guy.
Comments. Oakland is also really well coached. Yes.
He's been there for 40 years.
Yeah. That's as long as I've been alive. He's been over there on the campus, Yeah, no kidding. Mitt, shout out. Thanks for hopping in late. Better late than never, as we like to say around here in these streets. What a show. We're putting a bow on it, man. Mike, any closing thoughts heading out of Feast Week here and heading full speed ahead towards the holiday season?
Yeah, man. No, I think we're ready to get back into the saddle. We, earned some well-deserved family time and everything. But I, kissed my kids good night and said I'll see you in May, right? So, no, it was awesome, man. It was a lot of fun watching college basketball, chatting about it, and getting back to doing these shows. I'm sure we'll see you guys a few more times this week, hopefully.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we hope to see Cam, Kaylin, Thomas, Corey, Myron, Mama Rocks, who's been steady in those comments all season long. And, of course, Mason and Mitt as well. Everybody doing their part in the Green Screens Media universe. Hopping in that live chat. Make sure you're all subscribed. Make sure that you follow your bros in basketball, your broskies in basketball. I'm the conductor of the aforementioned Green Screens train at Dr. William Cannon on Twitter. My name is Jay Heinrich. That is the OG Money Mike, El Capitan of the Green Screens Media ship at MC Holland 34 on X. Of course, follow our guy at Fantasy Nav, Eric the Blue, and of course at The Real Napier as well. The whole Green Screens Media crew at Get Green Screens and at One and Done CBB as well. In those Twitter streets, as our guy Eric likes to say. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Make sure you have those notification bells on. We will be back very soon for a just a total DFS show. The next time you see us, we'll be here to have a little bit of fun, and keep it alive, keep it rolling. Thanks to the comments, and of course, thanks to Mike. And we like to keep it fun, but most importantly, we like to get this bread, baby.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drrodo.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.